Hello everyone and welcome to the GamerGlance channel. I'm Evil Rabbit. Today we're going to be using two main programs, Paint.net and Adobe Photoshop CS6. You can download Paint.net in there's a link in the description down below. So click on that, download it. And now if you want Adobe Photoshop, well in that case, please don't get me arrested, but you just do. But trust me, you can work with both of these programs really well. It's just that Adobe can do much more stuff, but Paint.net is it's simpler in a lot of ways. Now you'll start it up and you'll get this canvas. Now you may be thinking, well that's too small for a thumbnail. Well that's simple, you just do new and do 1280 by 720. That's okay for me. And we've got this. So what I do is I download pictures of space. It's what I use for a big majority of backgrounds for my videos. So let's choose one that's simple enough. This one's good. So let's just drag that in here. Let's open this. And yeah, that's okay. Let's say you're making a video on some kind of a game, and now you're going to need a logo of your game. Now, most likely, if the game is more popular, we'll be able to find a logo of that game. Most likely, if that game is most likely, if that game is more well known, then you will be able to find a proper logo of that game. Since I don't know which game to choose, let's just do game logo. How is no logo PNG? Well, that's easy. If you can't find one, then you just search PNG. If you just add PNG on the end, you will find a PNG picture. What that means is that there will be these chess dots, kind of. And I'm going to show you what happens when you get a logo which is PNG, and what happens when you get a logo that is not PNG. So yeah, you just take this game logo which is PNG and you grab it and put it in Paint.net. You don't do open, you just add it as a new layer. And as you can see, it's got no background. It actually looks pretty nice because there's no white corners around this logo. We can just leave that there since that is another layer that we can just turn off. I recommend working with layers in the future if you want to make better thumbnails in this program. What this allows you to do is basically write maybe over text or under text. It's actually very helpful. Now we can get the logo that is not PNG. And what happens is, well, this. Now if this happens, we just undo, we get it again, and this time we actually open it. And now this is what you don't do. If you want to get rid of the white background, you do not do this. Just don't. That's bad. You simply grab this tool, this wand, and you do this. And it selects every color that you've selected. Now, this can also happen, but if this happens, just get it back to 50, or less, or more. Basically, this is the percentage of how much color it is supposed to pick up. So if I do this, you can kind of notice it's not taking the white around. If I do all, then it takes all. So let's get back to 50, and you just hit delete on your keyboard. Now, we've still got these spaces left. Well, you delete these too. So now that we've deleted them, what I like to do is just take this whole picture, do copy, and then insert it in here. If you want to mess up your picture again, or if you want to keep it as it is now, but just keep the text bigger, of course you choose that, and you just make it smaller, like that. So now we've got two logos. This one was way easier to work with, so I definitely recommend getting PNG transparent text that can fit into your picture. Now we can play with these texts to make them stand out. If we go further, it's kind of hard to read the C in the game. It's going to be harder to read it from a distance when your thumbnail is small. So you can select the whole picture, but make sure you pick this layer where your text is. Do effects, and there is many effects that you can play with. I do recommend, if you have the time, to play with these effects and see what they do. Let's pick this one. And it looks quite better, especially this one. But this black one, yeah, it's still a bit messy and even a little bit harder to read, but it does look better from afar. So what's the problem? Well, it is the background. What I would do is actually make it more bright so that you can read this logo better. And just look at the difference. Look how easy it is to read this text. Now what do we want? Maybe we actually want PewDiePie to be in this. So we add a layer. And yeah, it happened again. So what we basically do is just simply open it as a new picture. Now this is something that Photoshop does really well compared to this program. What you can do in Photoshop is cut out what you want your own way. There's many tools to do it in Photoshop, but here it's kind of limited, and well, let's say they're not the best tools. You're going to have to use this tool, which is quite annoying. You're just going to have to cut out by hand what you want to cut out, and it's really annoying. Just see how unpractical it is to do. It's really annoying. But once you do it, well, you've got yourself a PewDiePie that you can clickbait on. And now we're going to create a new layer. We've copied PewDiePie and we want him on a new layer so that we can add different effects on him without ruining this text. Now let's flip him and let's make him smaller so we can fit into the actual picture. There we go. Now we will just take him like this, do effects, and again you can play with this. You can apply the same changes you applied to the previous text, so that will make him look like this, but that just looks bad. So we want different effects. Well, let's say you want to make him stand out a bit, but not like this. Let's do contrast so that he stands out, and let's do this. And what this does is, this is normal PewDiePie that we've cut out. Now we add, well, some kind of a shadow. You know, you just need to play with these settings. I really do recommend you try it out yourself so that you figure out how to work with this. Now if you don't think that stands out enough, you can just apply it again, and whoa, there we go. And you can add your own stuff, your own text. Now this does not look like a good thumbnail, trust me, but I showed you what you can do in the program, and you can end up doing some crazy stuff. So we've got a finished thumbnail, but right now let's get to the real deal. Let's get to Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so now we're in Adobe Photoshop and we're going to be trying to make a thumbnail for this video. Now before we start, I just want to say this. There's something you can't do, which kinda annoys me, but I got used to it. This is the thing. You cannot drag pictures. You cannot drag pictures right into the program. You actually need to open them from the program. So we pick our background. Which one's good? Which one's good for this video? Let's say this one. Oh, actually, there are going to be two pictures and I'm going to be showing off. And on this picture, I'll be showing off how to do these effects, and on this picture I'll be making the actual thumbnail throughout the video. So let's start with this. Now what I used to do is I used to open a picture right from the computer, but most of the time if you already got a picture with a transparent background, you don't have to do that. You can just simply do place and then find your picture with the transparent background. There it is, right there. Now we've got our own text that we can move around. We can make it bigger, smaller. I'm just going to undo so that it's the original size. And yeah, there we've got it. Now as I've said, there's a lot more things you can do in this program. So let's say we want an effect on this logo. And already the biggest and best thing you can do in this program is highlight text much better. Not just text, but pictures in general. You just press outer glow, make it tick, and you do range to 1. Now there's some white around it, you can't really see it. So what you do is you do size, and you can do this. But we don't want it this big. I recommend doing it just like to the point where it's not annoying, but it also catches a person's eye. I think that is pretty good. This doesn't really matter all that much, but you can play with that too. Now listen closely, I'm going to hit Control and T. Then you can play with the text again. Now I feel like I can maybe, you know, edit this a little so that it's bigger and you can read it better. Let's say right about there. Yeah, that's good. And you do place file. Now there's still something missing, so let's go back to effects, and you can play with this once again a lot. But I also sometimes do drop shadow. The angle doesn't really matter. Let's do from there. Let's do basically 90. And let's do size, spread, distance. Let's do that. Let's make the spread. Wait, I'm gonna try something. You always gotta experiment. That's like the best thing about all of this. This is what the shadow can do. Where did it go? What? So you've got your own shadow. But sometimes I also like to do, well, just this. Then you drop the distance to 0. It doesn't really matter about the angle. And what this does is it creates this kind of fog behind the text that makes it really stand out. So since we did PewDiePie, let's do someone different. Let's do, oh my god, this abomination. Now there's many ways that you can cut out people, but the one I actually use is this one. It's not very practical, I can't tell you that, but there's many ways on how to actually cut out people. And I think you should actually check someone else if this way of cutting out people doesn't suit you. Okay, so now I've actually cut him out. I just copy this beautiful bastard and paste him in. And oh god, that's horrible. Now you press Control C once again so you can move him around. And let's move in and yeah, let's do that. There we go. I'm not going to be sleeping for 2 weeks. Okay, so now since we've got him, we can drop some effects on him. So let's do outer glow, do 1, do size that is suitable for him. I'd say about that is okay. That's not cut out too well, as you can see. So I recommend taking a little bit more time with cutting out characters. But yeah, that's about right. Oh, why not? Let's make it like, oh, there. No, there. Yeah, distance, spread. Oh no, please God. That's horrible. Okay, so now we've kind of made a shadow of him, which is quite nice. I think it looks good. You can also add other stuff, but this is basically the basics that I used for making my effects. You can create some really good thumbnails with these basic rules. I'll probably just be time-lapsing this whole thing, so that, you know, we don't waste time. So yeah guys, the thumbnail is done, and yeah, thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, leave them down below in the comment section, and see you sometime soon.